A lot of people think like property is just like, hey, I'm going to come and read this book and I'll become successful, but it's not.
I went into it not really knowing what to expect.
Because only me know who I was before I am who I am today.
I remember just thinking, wow, there's like a whole new world outside of education.
We do things that works, but we don't actually stop and figure out why it's working. Some people say that because they go into university, they can't start property. Well, today I'm robbing everyone who said that of an excuse. Why? Because the next individual is somebody who's quit university because he's now financially free in property. Listen, guys, my name is Willie. Welcome to the first episode of the Superstaronsunday podcast. I'm here in Wales with one of my favorite students. His name is Josh Edwards. And before me telling you, let him tell you his story. How's it going, Josh?
It's good, thank you, bro. Thanks for such a good introduction.
Absolutely, no problem at all, man. So, Josh, tell me how did I know you? Before you started property, by the way, what were you doing, man?
I was just university student. I was doing a management degree. I think I was in my second year, and just really not going anywhere. Realised that my lecturers weren't actually business people themselves, and just had no real direction. Pretty much.
Amazing, man. And how did you come across myself?
Just through social media. I think it was a Facebook ad I saw at first, and then I went through all your content, saw your video on how you became financially free, and that sort of inspired me. But obviously I tried a lot of things like drop shipping, that type of thing, all the dreams you sort of get sold, but property was the one that I saw. I saw it and I trusted you, so I booked onto a free event, and the rest is history, you know.
So the crazy thing about it is that you're not the only person who always come to my social media and see my content, but you're one of the few ones who actually say, you know what it is, let me actually message this individual. Yeah. Because a lot of people might see them and be like, oh yeah, they will find something wrong, they will find some imaginary problem to make them feel good, and they won't take action. Mm-hmm. Or some of them have been following my content for years and they've never actually dropped me a DM, right? Yeah. Because maybe they think, I've got too many followers, I'm not going to reply to them, but you're not like that. You're action taker. You follow my content, and then you came onto a virtual event, it was?
Yeah, it was a virtual event. I skipped my uni lectures that day and stayed at home. Watched the whole event start to finish. Yeah. It's crazy thinking back at it now. I didn't even put my camera on. And I remember you were saying, oh yeah, so not pressuring, but sort of encouraging us to put your camera on, show a bit of personality. And now looking back on it, I understand. But back then I was just like, I didn't fully trust myself that I would want to stick around, and I wouldn't want to like leave like halfway through or something like that. If you've seen me and stuff.
So you basically came onto the online free program, the Level Up event, and you didn't turn your camera on because you didn't think you probably stay around until the end. Pretty much, yeah. So you kind of like use that as a way to get out, because everyone wouldn't even know if I'm out. Yeah. But then, what made you stay?
Just you, man. without glazing too much. Just your energy and how you explained everything. I feel like in the virtual event you get it's a basic level of knowledge. It's a foundational level of knowledge, isn't it? Where you give this advice, and it's sort of saying, well,
to be fair, it's the most I can potentially give within like 5 hours, something like that.
100%.
A lot of people think like property is just like, hey, I'm going to come and read this book and I'll become successful, but it's not. No. It's like driving a car. It's like getting your doctorate. It takes hours. It takes months. It takes years. In fact, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become a pro in anything. Yeah. So within a few hours, it's only so much that I can give.
No, definitely. I went into it not really knowing what to expect, but you gave just multiple different methods, whether that be serviced accommodation, HMO, purchasing property, BRRs, and I remember just thinking, wow, there's like a whole new world outside of education, and you don't have to work for somebody else. I never wanted to work for somebody, but that sort of gave me the belief, oh, he's done it, I can do it then.
Of course. Yeah. 100%. And it's someone like me, I tell people that all the time, and I'm not trying to like, put myself down. I'm just obviously just being a realist, because only me know who I was before I am who I am today. And I know if I came from where I came from, anybody can.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, how is it that you come into a completely new country, you got no parents here, you got family who don't support you, you haven't got no savings, you go up, you have an accent.
Yeah.
You know, you basically like stand out in a crowd. I'm a African American individual in a Caucasian country. You stand out. So all of the potential wrong starts you can have, I had.
Yeah.
And yet still I found a way to do it. So I know if anybody who's starting from a different start, but a little bit ahead of me, they definitely can do it.
100%. And I sort of saw that, and I thought what surprised me the most was the time period you did it in. It was you only started property 5-6 years ago, was it? And look at you now, you're driving around in a Lamborghini Euro, so it says it all, really.
100%. And I became financially free very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I learned. You see, the thing about me is that I always edit my life. I'm actually writing a book about this that's coming out later on this month or next month. The ability to edit your life, and I think it's a very important thing to do. What do I mean by that is that we do things that works, but we don't actually stop and figure out why it's working.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And vice versa, we do things that's not working, and we never figure out why it's not working. So what happens is a lot of people live the same day 365 times and call it a year.
Yeah.
And then they say Happy New Year, and then they make all these crazy wishes, right? But they live the same day again on January the 1st, and they repeat the same thing 75 times and call it a life.
That's a funny thing. I was in the gym the other day, probably first week of January. Never seen it so busy. You go in this week, half the people are left, and by February the 1st, it's going to be even less people. So, you've
100%. I think, you see, I tell people all the time, it doesn't really matter what you've done up until now. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you were criminal.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not a bad thing, because we look at, one of my students, Manfred, who was a criminal, and now he's financially free in property. It doesn't matter what you've done before. It just matters, like, cool, what you've done before, stop. Figure out what you've done wrong. Stop it.
Yeah.
And then now let's implement new habits.
100%.
And if you do that, then things are going to change. One of my biggest sayings is like, if nothing changes, nothing changes. But if one thing changes, everything changes.
100%.
I remember speaking to you, and you were saying to me, Evans, before obviously I met you, you were just seeing on the couch playing video games or something like that.
Pretty much. Oh, I had a gaming chair, but yeah.
You had a gaming chair. Took it to like a completely different level.
Yeah, no, I was just playing FIFA all day. That was because I was in uni, and I realised that the course wasn't what it was made out to be. I was doing a management degree, and I was just learning about what some guy said works in theory about 200 years ago. My lecturer driving around in a Fiat Punto, and I just looked at that and I was like, I don't want that. Why am I listening to this guy? And then I see someone like you who's actually living the sort of life I want to live, and I'm like, oh, I want to replicate that. Why am I listening to this guy? I'm paying, like, I don't even know how much it was. My debt over the 2 years is probably ridiculous. Hopefully I never pay it back. But yeah, and then one small investment in the grand scheme of things, and I'm on a completely different life trajectory.
100%. And we'll get into that in a minute, but there's something I said here that's very powerful. You said that your lecturer was driving a Fiat Punto, which means you edit your life and you realize, hold on a minute, I'm following the wrong person.
Yeah, literally.
Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, a lot of people don't do that. They follow the wrong person, they get the wrong advice from family and friends and broke friends, and they think that's their life. And there's a saying that if you tell someone something long enough, what happens?
You believe it.
They believe it.
100%.
So massive well done for you for not believing your lecturer and for cutting him out and start listening to me.
No, exactly. That's the problem. Like so many people, it is all about your environment, and I've sort of changed my environment a bit. I still keep those mates. I like them. They're childhood friends and stuff like that. But to be able to upgrade, you actually have to upgrade who you're spending time with, what information you're taking in, and your everyday surroundings, isn't it? And then that allows you then to go on to this next level. And I found the behaviours that I was doing, I was nothing too bad, but that didn't match the person that I wanted to be. So you've got to switch all your behaviours to become you've got to act like a millionaire before you're a millionaire.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Like, the thing about it is, this part of your brain, and it doesn't understand what's real to what's actually a dream, right? It doesn't understand what's actually happening. So that's why, having things like vision boards and being able to see things regularly it dramatically increases your chances of getting things. Like a lot of people that evidence you're lucky, but when you really break it up, am I really lucky? Everything I have now is either written on a book somewhere, or it's either I've got a picture on my phone, or I've got a picture on my vision board. So is that really luck?
No, it's planned. You've made a plan, and and you followed the steps to the steps in between is the hard part. But you set your target, and don't just let it be just like you said, a wish, like a New Year's resolution. That you're not going to stick to that. You've got to fully set. That's why I said to you. I just spoke to you then. Next car I'm getting a G-Wagon. Yeah. I am getting a G-Wagon. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. In my head.
Because the thing about you, I always say, how you do anything is how you do everything. I remember when you came to a free event and you said to me, "Listen, Evans, I haven't got the money to come to the bootcamp.
Yeah.
Advanced Freedom Bootcamp, but I'm gonna find a way." I think you had a few $100. I think you put down, and then within a few days, I don't know who you begged, borrowed, and still, but you found the money to come to the bootcamp.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely mental. You came to the bootcamp, and you're like, "Yeah, this is obviously it." And then you're like, "You know what? I'm going to the mastermind." I'm like, how is this 20-year-old uni kid finding money to the mastermind? And then you found a money to the mastermind. In fact, I have to jump on the phone and speak to your dad.
Yeah, 100%. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that was such a hard he was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think your character sort of did push that over the line. I remember when you jumped on a call, I was stood in the other room just thinking, listening to everything. I was just thinking, yeah, good point, Evan. Good point.
But it's crazy though, because you see, the thing about you is that there's no surprise that you are where you are now. It's because you're someone who don't make excuses. You do whatever it takes to get to where you have to go.
Yeah.
And I tell people that's one of the most important things. That's one of the most important things when you're starting something. You have to commit. Mm-hmm. Because some people worry about, I have the age. They worry about the age first. They worry about probably their race or the nationality or the accent, or they worry about how much money that they have before they start something.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works. You commit first. Mm-hmm. Because when you commit, guess what happens?
You have to carry on.
You find the answers, like you did.
Yeah.
Because you commit to obviously coming to the bootcamp and you found a way to do it. You commit to doing the mastermind, you found a way to do it. And that commitment that's what got you here. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah. You also commit to becoming financially free, which obviously you have. Yeah. And we're going to get into that in a minute. You're now committing to, on podcast, to buy a G-Wagon. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get it.
I will. I'm telling you, next year you'll see me driving around. Black G-Wagon Brabus. That's what I want, and that's what I'm going to have.
It's completely mental. So obviously you join the mastermind and talk to us, how was your journey and how did you find the mastermind?
Just amazing, really. It was, for me, I have a lot of self-belief in that I will do what I need to do. However, the training's great and you learn the skill sets. In theory, you could do it on your own. You could do it, but it was the fact that whenever I had something I was sitting on the fence over, call Evans. Yeah, that's a good deal. For example, these flats that I've just purchased, I would not have bought these. I would not have bought these without you saying, yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So it was, for me, it was a big, just sort of like a hand-holding thing. I needed someone who'd been there before to do it, and that's what I'm seeing now. People are coming to me to be what you were to me, if that makes sense. They're saying, is this a good deal? How do I sell this deal? How do I take on this rent to rent? It's
100%
crazy.
And that's the powerful thing about starting anything great is a ripple effect of the lives that you're going to change when you do what you say you're going to do.
100%.
So obviously join the mastermind. Now it's very, very interesting. One of the things that I think a lot of people would like to obviously find out, like, you live in Wales, I live in London. See, for most people, they'll be like, he doesn't live anywhere close to me, so it's not the right fit. Like, what made you decide to get a mentor who lives in London, which is like hundreds of miles away from obviously where you are in Cardiff?
Simple answer. I didn't care. I'll go to London if I need to. I'll go wherever. Like, obviously London's known for business a lot more than it is in Wales, and I don't think people here are necessarily motivated as much as people in London to make money. I guess it was just a case of I don't care. I don't care.
That's very powerful. And you know what? I actually agree with you because I've lived out of London and I do a lot of business out of London, and the reception of the agents and the landlord is completely different to London. Now, I'm not saying every single one, but I'm just saying the majority of agents and landlords and investors and people I meet out of London, they're a lot more laid back.
Yeah.
And that's not a surprise because, like, if they were 100% hungry, they would be in the city which makes the most amount of money, which is obviously London, right?
Definitely.
People who live in London are people who are on it and hungry, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying people out of London are not hungry the same way, but what I'm saying is, there's probably a reason why they don't live in London.
Yeah.
Which is very, very smart, obviously. So you say, you know what, I want someone who's hungry, who's on it. So you came all the way to London. I mean, when you came all the way to London, you just came for the Bootcamp because pretty much the whole mastermind, we operated it virtually.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Yeah, it was all phone calls, that sort of thing. I think I know in the last couple of months, like I said, I've been proper busy and I haven't been coming up. But yeah, it doesn't matter if it's in London to me. I'll go there if it means that I need to. I love it. Whenever I come back from an event or any sort of mastermind gathering, I come back, I'm like, I need to work harder. I feel more motivated every single time. It's just such a good environment to be a part of.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Obviously, you came to London, got the knowledge, came back to Wales, implemented it, had a little bit of things that were obviously not really going right. But what I like about you is that you didn't just because it's not going right, just fade away. You let me know, Evans, you know what, man, I'm struggling here, I'm struggling there.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And you you moved into my house for a week.
Yeah, I said, bro, you know what are you doing on this week? You're like, Evans, you tell me.
Yeah.
And then obviously I came down to Wales, and within a week we actually dominated Wales, didn't we?
Yeah, it wasn't even a week, it was 4 days. And you were like, oh, my job's done, I'm going home.
Yeah, man. So talk to us what happened during that week.
Yeah, it was just, my whole perspective on, I wouldn't even just say business, life as well, just like a little thing, I've never said this before, but on the first, you came over the first night, we didn't really do much, we just set out a plan of what we were going to do, and then the next morning, you said to Kevin, you said, oh yeah, you come into David Lloyd's, and you'd already told me that we were starting at, I think, 8 or something like that. I was thinking, well, you're going to go. And you guys woke up at 6 and went to the gym at 6. I was just thinking, oh. And then as soon as I didn't go, I thought, why didn't I go? What am I doing? But it's just a completely different thing. It's a completely different way of operating. And then obviously the actual skills that you taught and seeing how you walk into agents confidently. I do see how you do it now, because say if I were to walk in an agent now with the portfolio I do have now, I find it a lot easier than when you're first starting off, because like you always say, the first one is always the hardest, because you're so emotionally attached to each deal. I need this deal. I've got a view in, and if I don't secure this, then what, I've got to start again. Whereas me, a deal slips away. I'm just like, okay, well, I didn't need that anyway.
100%, and it's a lot to do with the mindset. You see. You said about the beginning of the first day I went to the gym. You see, I knew I needed a gym, because to give the 4 days that obviously I gave, it requires a lot of energy. And the gym actually gives me energy. It gives me mental clarity. So now, I actually need the gym on that day.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I go to the gym every day.
Yeah.
But when the days really matter, I'll find a way to go to the gym. And 100%. I did that. And then we walked into the agents.
Yeah, we walked, 21 agents? Oh, bro.
And I can recall you saying that I've never walked into so many agents ever in total, let alone in one day.
Yeah, not even close. We went to every single agent. Now, when I'm looking now, I'm scrolling through Rightmove, I'm like, oh, I remember that guy, I remember that guy.
Yeah, and to be fair, majority of the agents, a lot of them didn't say the word no, but indirectly were just basically fobbing us off, didn't they?
Yeah, it's British, isn't it? British people don't say no, they just say...
But you see, that is what people are afraid of. They're afraid of getting L's. They're afraid of getting losses.
Yeah.
But in my world, L does not mean losses. L are lessons. So with all these agents that was not really giving us what we wanted, there's something that I learned.
Yeah.
And then eventually, within the same day, we found a few agents who said yes to us.
Yeah, no.
We even found an agent who obviously brought us to a viewing that exact same day.
Yeah.
And that was where everything started.
Yeah, I still got a really strong relationship with those guys as well.
Yeah.
And I'm having to turn down deals now. They're saying, oh, we got a 6-bed here, we got a 3-bed here, and I'm saying, sorry, I can't take it on at the moment.
100%.
You know.
You see, the crazy thing about obviously when we started off that week, right? I know you said obviously the first night we didn't do much, but the plan was obviously one of the most important things. But I remember after I wrote the plan, I told you, Josh, the plan is we're gonna get 4 rent-to-rents this week.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell a deal. We're gonna buy some property. I remember your face, and you were just like, is this guy actually alright? Like, is this guy okay? Because you didn't really believe that it would happen, would you?
I said no, not at all. I sort of nodded. I was like, okay, we'll do that. And then
because you were trying for like a month or something like that.
Yeah, it was
the thing, I tell people all the time that, you know, there's no secret to success, but there's a system. You see, because I've done it already, because I became financially free very, very quickly, I understand what happens. I know exactly how you felt when I said we're going to do this, and I know what to do in any different country. So I had the confidence to do it, and I know it's going to happen, but you're like, I don't really know. But what I liked about you is that you just followed me blindly.
No, that's it. That's the way, though. What other choice did I have? I just
I mean, to be fair, that's a smart thing to do. But you'd be surprised that a lot of people don't do that. Yeah. A lot of people, you know, someone is successful will tell them exactly what to do, exactly where to go, exactly what to say. Guess what's going to happen? They still won't do it. Yeah. Because there are people who are just naturally quitters in life, right? You can give a quitter a brand new Lamborghini, and you can give them a full tank and a roadmap to exactly where to go to become successful. And you know what? They'll complain like, there's a lot of rain today. They'll complain like, it's a long drive. Because they're a quitter.
Yeah, 100%.
But people like yourself are not quitters. People like you are just like, show me how, show me what to do, and I'm going to do it.
Exactly. Well, what else am I supposed to do? I've got a millionaire next to me saying, this is how you get on the journey to becoming like me. And follow like you said, followed it blindly.
Yeah, man. And at the end of that week, we did pretty much everything that we said we were going to do.
Yeah, we did. We did everything.
What happened in a week, man? What did you achieve in that week?
So we took on 4 rent-to-rents, 4 rent-to-service accommodations then being, and then we also put down an offer on the building that we're sat in now.
Yeah, crazy. And you also got some money in the bank as well.
Yeah, we sold a deal as well, I forget about that.
You sold a deal, so you took on 4 rent-to-rents, which allow you to be financially free. You still have them today?
Yeah.
Still have them. Sold a deal, but most importantly, you've bought a block of apartments.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, a lot of people are asking, how is it that a 20-year-old uni student is able to do all of this with no money? Can you elaborate a little bit more? Tell them, you know, how you did it.
It's just packaging up a deal essentially and making it attractive for someone else. And you've got to look at the investor side of things. A lot of investors have money, but they don't have time, whereas the benefit for me, I have time, but I don't have money. I'd say less so now. I don't have much time anymore. But I basically did all the work, used the knowledge and skill that you've taught me, and then from there I package up a deal and pretty much say I can give you a better return than your money would get you elsewhere. And I showed that to my dad, and he fortunately he's got a bit of money that he wanted to put to work. And the rest is history, really.
But you see, the thing about it is, obviously your dad obviously was the investor for these apartments. However, he wasn't an investor in your very first deals, because at the beginning, even if he was your dad, you had to kind of like prove to him that, do you know what I mean, you can do it. Because you had to raise the finance for your rent-to-rent deals and prove to them, like, you know what, this guy can act. Number one, not only can he find the deals, but he can obviously now prove that he can obviously raise the money. Yeah. So it kind of like almost made your dad probably feel like, I don't really need you, because do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's a lot more attractive to an investor when you make him feel like, you know what, I don't really need your money, but I can take it and give you a good return.
That's exactly what it is. Anyone selling deals, anything like that, you want to say, secure now, it's gonna sell fast. You've just got to create some sort of demand, which isn't there, you know.
Absolutely, and you genuinely have to create, not just say I've got loads of investors sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I remember when you were before you obviously raised the funds to buy this apartment, I remember when you were raising the funds to fund your rent to rent, and I told you, listen, bro. And you were like, where do I find the investors? I'm like, they're in your phone book. And you have to pull out your phone and obviously call the contacts in your phone book. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know. That was probably that was my least favourite thing of the whole week. I hated that, because I'm asking my mates and family, friends and stuff like that for money, you know.
And some of them give me some silly excuses.
No, I know. It was.
I don't know if you remember them, but I remember one was saying something about he hasn't got it, but he's got to ask his mom. Yeah, there were crazy stories, wasn't there?
No, 100%. He's a lovely guy. He's actually getting into property now himself. He's looking to purchase a flat and get into the serviced accommodation. But yeah, what I was surprised at when making those calls is how many people actually they instantly were interested. Even if they didn't have the money, they were saying, oh yeah, I sort of would. I don't know if that's a reflection on me or them or whatever, but yeah, it was.
You were surprised that so many people were interested in what you were doing.
100%.
Because you thought a lot of them wouldn't.
No, 100%. And yeah, that's the way it is. And even like now, I'm surprised at how many people, like, I don't know, little things, just liking my stories and stuff like that. I'm like, I haven't spoken to you in 7 years and you're liking my stories. It's
100%.
like, yeah.
The thing is, bro, nobody wants to fail in life. I don't think anybody intended to fail. Everybody wants to win. And, you know, when you get started off, they will obviously not genuinely maybe start with you, but they'll be watching you.
Yeah, definitely.
And watching you is a very powerful thing, because if you use it the wrong way, they're gonna be like, see, I told you this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
But then if you don't, if you don't and you go the other way and it actually works, what happens is you become the pioneer, and everybody now looks up to you and be like, bro, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, bro, I don't like, I want to remain humble with it and stuff like that, but yeah, the amount of people I have reaching out, just wanting to get involved, they're asking me to like mentor them and asking me for advice. Yeah, it's crazy how I only started 8 months ago, something like that, and yeah, it's crazy how people do respect the hustle, I guess.
Yeah, of course, bro. You know, and even yesterday I got a phone call from one of my ex-colleagues, right? And it's someone I used to work with at Jaguar Land Rover.
Okay.
And it's been about 7 years ish that obviously it's been since I was working with him, and he's been at the company for over a decade, right? Over a decade he's been there, and he called me because he got fired 3 months ago.
Oh, right, okay.
So somebody came in and obviously bought, you know, the franchise that I used to work at, and they basically fired the whole, you know, branch. Really,
that's rough. That is rough.
And he called me. One of the first things that he said to me, he said, and tears almost came out of my hand. One of the first things that he said to me was, "Bro," because he's South African. He said, "Bro, I just want to let you know, bro, I'm just super proud of you, bro. Bro, freaking proud of you, right?" It's like I've seen everything that you, and to be fair, he's an old man.
Yeah.
I say old, I mean, he's probably like 50-something years old. He doesn't look, he's in good shape. So I never actually thought he'd be following my content, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which he has been. And most importantly, the reason why he called me was because he wants to now get into property.
Fair play.
And is now obviously coming to one of my events I'm having on Saturday. But the crazy thing about it is that I never actually believed, number one, that he'd be following my content. I thought he'd be the last person who'd want to ever leave working at Jaguar Land Rover and wanted to do property.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is sometimes adversity pushes you into different directions.
I was literally about to butt in and say that, like, the reason I would say I almost forced myself to get into property and start following you and book onto the training and stuff like that. Because in uni I was just lost with, I don't want to do this. I was big into my rugby. That sort of fell off a cliff at 17. And then it was just like, well, that was what I was meant to be doing. What do I do now? And yeah, for probably 2 years in uni, I was a bit like lost. And then, yeah, but you can take that and just be a bum. And you can take that like negative emotion and be a bum, or you can use it to do something else and do something positive. And that's what I've done.
Absolutely, man. Speaking of university, man, you know, what's your take on it? And then obviously afterwards I'll tell you my take. Obviously, knowing what you know now, being where you are right now, being financially free, owning an apartment, and at the age of 20, you know, being a massive inspiration. What's your take on university?
I think university back in the day was very valuable because not many people went to university, and if you went to university and got a degree, you'd come out and get a higher paying job. Nowadays, almost everyone goes to university, and that's what's pushed on you. And I feel like the majority of people that are in university, anyway, at least people that are like me, go to university because they think that is what they should do. That's what their parents say they should do. It's either go to university or get a trade, isn't it? I wish I'd got a trade, really. But nowadays, it is a scam. It is a scam because, don't get me wrong, if you want to be a doctor, you need to go to university. If you want to be anything like that, you need to go to university. But a business management degree, you're going to come out. I know people who have master's degrees in pretty good fields, psychology, that sort of thing. They come out of uni and they're working in a coffee shop and they've got like 90 grand worth of debt. It is a scam. It's a massive scam, and the government's in on it. The parents are sort of brainwashed into it. Teachers push you towards it, and you see people in university. You can say, "I'm in uni." No one questions it. It's just, "Oh, nice. Yeah, you're doing well." Like, no, you're not. You're just following what you're meant to be doing.
100%. You see, everything is normal when you're around people who are doing the exact same thing as you, and that's good or bad, right? So. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't like to use the word scam, but I do 100% agree with exactly what you've said, because a lot of the times, in fact, not a lot of the times, statistics shows that the average person, 1 in 2 people, work in a field completely different to what they studied.
Exactly.
So that means they've studied psychology, but they work in Greg's downstairs, right? 1 in 2 people will work in retail, and they will study. They will study nursing or whatever it is, but they work in something completely different.
Yeah.
So if you really look at the statistic, why would you really need to go spend all of these years?
All it is because
all of that money.
You're so young. Exactly. You're so young that you sort of. Don't cuss me out, people are in uni, because I got a lot of friends who are in uni.
Yeah.
But it's almost prolonging your childhood. It's just like you don't want to do something, so you go to university. I have more respect for people who would do a trade, because they're actually learning something. If I'd have done a trade, I'd be saving myself quite a bit of money with the property stuff.
100%. So. And the reality of it is, listen, I don't bash university. I can't bash it. I didn't go to university, right? I can't bash it. But what I would say is that if you're going to be working in Greg's, you didn't need to go to university for that. No. Now there are certain things that you need to go to university for. If you want to become a doctor, like, you can't take an online course on it. You have to go to university, right? If you want to become a solicitor, right? So those things, I get it. But there are people who are obviously doing a business degree, and the lecturer has never started, not even an online business. They never started a business. But they're teaching them business in university, right? Which is absolutely mental. It does not make sense.
Well, the lecturers, they've just completed the course that you've done, done a master's,
right?
Never got a job, not even never started a business, never got a job, and come back in to teach about the thing that they studied. That's
a lot of the lecturers just have a very good memory.
Yeah, 100%.
and for me, a lot of school, a lot of university, just a memory test.
It is.
I remember when I was going to school, right? I remember when I was going to school. I actually did okay in school. I didn't do very bad, because I'm a naturally smart person, but I never studied. So I was never a top student in the school. I was sort of maybe in the second division. There's the excellent, there's the good, there's the bad, and then there's the ugly, right? I was in the good, but I never studied, right? But I remember obviously the lecturer obviously making fun of one of my friends. His name is Clefus. Clefus is like one of the bad ones, right?
Okay.
And she was just like, you're gonna be a failure in life, this, that, and the other. And it's just because he failed the test. Now at the time, genuinely, based on what the teacher was saying, I actually genuinely thought Clefus would be a loser.
Yeah, 100%.
And everybody in the class thought he'd be a loser. But the reality of it is, now I'm older, I'm thinking he's actually not a loser. He's got a business, a car rental business in Solution. But the reality of it is, that teacher still works in that job.
Yeah.
So when I look back now, fast forward a few years, who's the loser? The teacher is obviously still a loser. I'm not saying all teachers are losers. I'm not saying in this particular scenario, that was the loser. And now why? It's just because Clefus hasn't got a very good memory.
100%.
Because when you do a test in school, just a memory, they tell you something to do, and all you have to do is remember it.
100%.
And if you got a good memory, you will be successful.
That's not how it works, though. But that's what they're teaching you how to be. I don't want to go into my conspiracy theory stuff, but they just want people to be compliant. They're teaching you to sit in an office, work at a laptop, sit there all day, take instructions, don't back chat. That's what it is.
100%.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong, I love a lot of my teachers, especially at the sixth form I went to, but there's a few teachers that sort of got a little bit of a kick out of picking on kids, which is a little bit of a
100%. Listen, I
weird one.
I love all my teachers. I love all of them, because they obviously were nice people to me. But I'm not saying that if you want to become successful in business, that's not the route to go.
No, definitely not.
Do you know what I mean? So and that's not the route that you took.
No.
And you obviously, you got through it, you became financially free. You know, bought this apartment. We're now in a new year. It's almost a year, isn't it? It's about 10 months, it's 11 months, something like that. How long has it been?
It's been 9 months, yeah.
Oh, see, Josh is obviously macking on every month. He's like, Evans, you're not going to chip me on my 3 months left in the mac.
I got time.
So it's absolutely amazing, man. So what's next for you, man? What's the goal? Like, what's the plan moving forward in life, and especially this year?
So this year I've taken on 5 rent-to-rents, 1 through a joint venture, and then purchased 3 properties. I tend to set my targets too high, but I think that's a good way because you're always, even if you fail, you're still doing well.
Yeah.
I need to do at least what I've done this year, but this year I've spoken to you about this. I'm going hard on content. I want to get a bit more known, increase my network a bit, but also on the property side of things, I want to dip into HMOs and BRRs. That's my main focus. I want to buy at least 3 properties this year, and take on 4 or 5 rent-to-rents as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's not even like a big. That's not even like thinking too big. That's very very doable. Mm-hmm. Because given the stat that you have now, it makes it a lot easier for investors to want to invest in you. Yeah. Because investors and joint venture partners, they don't want to joint venture or invest in anybody who doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah. Ain't got no knowledge, ain't got no results. Mm-hmm. You have all of those things. You obviously have the knowledge because you're on the mastermind. You have got results. So if the best way to obviously do that is by just leveraging what you already have. Yeah. No. Exactly. If you obviously go around marketing your success, it helps people know who you are a bit more and want to work with you. Exactly. One thing there's like a fine line between being like arrogant and braggy and sort of telling people how it is, because on paper my record looks pretty impressive, but I feel like if I were to say that sort of thing, it would to the wrong person come across quite braggy. Josh, whether you say those things or not, people will still form the opinion of you. Yeah, true. And you see, one of the things about me, a lot of people like everyone's just like how you're just so humble, is and the other. But I think that's what makes me so powerful, because I generally just don't care what people say. Yeah. And when you get to the point of you don't care what people say, you're not afraid to be judged, what happens is you become very, very powerful. Mm-hmm. So I would just say, don't worry about what they think of what you say, because if you don't say, they're going to think something of you anyway. True. But if you're actually genuinely saying what you are doing or what you've done, I don't think there's anything wrong in that. No, definitely. I always say, if you don't blow your trumpet, who's going to blow it for you? That's true. That's very true. Odd saying, but blow your trumpet, man. You obviously have worked very hard to obviously get here. Mm-hmm. I do believe you have a lot more to offer. Mm-hmm. So definitely let me do that, man. But if there's somebody watching this, this content, Josh, and they want to follow your footsteps, maybe they're interested in doing the mastermind, but I'm in an RN, maybe they're from a different city. What would be your advice, to them? I would just say, if you're the right person, because I sort of, without sounding braggy, I knew I was confident in myself that I would do what it takes. If you can commit to it, book onto a virtual training. Go down to you do £1 events, right? Yeah. Go down to a £1 event. Book onto, and then just take the next step every single time, and you'll know if it's for you. Because don't get me wrong, business is not for everyone. It's tough. Sure. It is tough. No one. People don't talk about how tough it is. But you've got to have the downs to have the lows, otherwise you won't the downs to have the highs. Otherwise you won't appreciate the highs. Sure. If you're up there all the time, that becomes the norm then, and then you're chasing that again, So I'd just say, take the next step, get in the room with the right people like yourself, and just surround yourself with people who are living the life that you want to live. Because if you're in a room with those people, you're going to be like one of those people. Give yourself time. If you're consistent with it, you're going to get there, 100%. Absolutely, man, 100%, man. So listen, man, it's been an absolute, pleasure. Coming down to Wales. Yeah. The last time I came into this apartment, it wasn't as furnished and as nice as it is now. So you've done a very good job in decorating. Mm-hmm. You have the whole 3 apartments in this building. Yeah. The 2 above ones are completely tenanted. Yeah. And you've just listed that one yesterday, you said, or day for yesterday? This one I've listed yesterday. So I'm pretty sure it's going to get filled. Perfect location, right next to the Principalist
Principality Stadium.
Principality Stadium, which is obviously mental.
Yeah.
Right next to Wales Castle, Cardiff Castle.
Cardiff Castle.
When it comes to location, you've nailed it with this block of apartments, haven't you?
100%. We've got I want to say lucky that we saw them when they did, because I don't think these would have lasted very long on the market.
Man. Yeah, you might be lucky, but you know the thing about it is luck is obviously created. I believe that. You know, you obviously put yourself out. You could have still played a video game in your game chair.
Yeah.
And maybe you'd probably get to the next level in FIFA, but you'd still be just a gamer, right?
Yeah.
But you haven't done that. You left that. You go into business. You're not financially free. You're now own 3 apartments at the age of
21 now.
21. It's now legal to do certain things, right? Do you know what I mean? So this is what I like about you, man. You're a massive winner. I think you go in places, man. And you know, just in closing, I mean, what message have you got to people? How do people find you if they want to follow you and stuff like that?
Yeah, search me up on Instagram, Josh Edwards Property. But just get in contact with me. I'm always active on the DMs. Going to be launching a TikTok account, which will be the same, Josh Edwards Property. Just follow along on the journey. You'll be seeing a lot more of me this year and for the future.
Amazing. Listen, guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, if that's not a reason to smash the like button, I don't know what is. But make sure, obviously, you subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, give my brother Josh Edwards a follow. You know, connect with him and find out, you know, what's next for him. You know, what's happening. And listen, if you obviously want to be like Josh, you know, click the link around this video, connect, come down to an event. Let's make money in 2025. Have a good day. Peace out, guys. See you later.